What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Gladiator, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Russell Crowe. Okay, I'm going to make this review as short and sweet as I possibly can. I overall think that Gladiator is a really good movie. I have a little, I got some issues with it here and there, but overall I think this is a solid effort by one Ridley Scott. So, I'm going to illustrate my positives and then some of my negatives. The pros. The cast in this movie is fantastic. Russell Crowe as Maximus is great. I love the story of Maximus in this movie. I love how he goes from becoming a general, a loyal servant of Rome, but because of Commodus, played by Joaquin Phoenix, he's overall betrayed, became a slave, who was turned into a gladiator, and then he became the gladiator who defied an empire as he went against Commodus. Now, the reason why Commodus the reason why Maximus became a slave was because Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, favored Maximus over his own son Commodus. And of course, a jealous Commodus killed his own father and put the blame on Maximus himself. And the story, and again, all this wraps into Maximus' story and his character progression in this movie, seeing him become this once proud general, then becoming a slave, and then a slave that was turned to become a warrior. And some of the movie's best scenes are the fight scenes and are the gladiator scenes. I think Russell Crowe handles himself really, really well in the fight scenes. He looks like a badass. The fight scenes are badass. They're vicious. They're bloody. It's great stuff. And like I say, Russell Crowe sells it great. And speaking of Joaquin Phoenix, who I mentioned earlier, the character of Commodus is the most duplicitous person in this entire movie. He is a slithering snake. He is a deceitful snake, and Joaquin Phoenix plays it to perfection. He plays a great scumbag in this movie. You also have a great supporting cast Diane Nelson. No, sorry, that has Connie Nielsen, whatever you want to call her. Oliver Reed, Dijmon Hursu. If I can't pronounce his name wrong, I'm sorry. You know, you have a great, stellar supporting cast who all come alive. This movie's got some great character interactions as well. I like the developing friendship between Marcus and his fellow gladiators, Juba and Hagen. I think the three of them have a cool dynamic going on. I would have liked to see more that get progressed. Meaning, meaning me, I would like to see more scenes with them because I was really enjoying that trio. I love how all the gladiators pretty much rise up with Maximus. They pretty much become under his guard once Maximus reveals himself to Commodus that he is still alive, which is a great scene. I like the political intrigue in this movie as well, and I like how the politics also play into the role of a gladiator because throughout this movie, Maximus is told, win the crowd, win the crowd. Pretty much, Maximus has to politic to the crowd for him to be accepted as a warrior, which is paralleling the actual politicians who want to get Commodus out of power because they don't trust him and they know that he's not gonna do what's best for Rome. So I kind of like the paralleling politics between the Senate and the Gladiator. It's actually really cool and how Ridley Scott was able to parallel that a little bit. I actually enjoyed that a lot. Things that I did not care for in this movie. The character of Commodus in this movie is portrayed as being very incestuous towards his sister, and that is something that I am not a fan of, no matter what kind of movie it is, no matter what time period you're in. That does not sit well with me. And I mean, it adds an extra layer of creep value, and there's this great scene where Commodus is telling his nephew the story of the King Claudius, and it's a really suspense, tense, written scene, and the acting in that scene is fantastic. But prior to that, we get a scene where Commodus tries to crawls into bed with his sister and tries to have a thing for her. And then at the end of the movie, he pretty much tells his sister, "Hey, listen, I'm going to impregnate you with my heir." So yeah, let's further add on to how much of a scumbag Commodus really is. But like I said, the whole incestuous angle, in terms of making Commodus an even bigger prick, cool. Me personally, not a huge fan of it, but at least they didn't shove it in your face by actually having him rape his sister, which would have been way too much. So I give Ridley Scott credit for actually having a lot of restraint and not pushing the envelope as far as I thought he was going to do, which is fine. Other things I like about this movie, I like how Marcus's whole story is that he wants revenge because it is Commodus who pretty much ordered the slaying of his wife and his son and this sets Marcus on his course for revenge. I like all that, and I like the payoff, and I like the end scene where Maximus and Commodus have their final face-off. Of course, Commodus, being a piece of shit, makes sure he wounds Maximus before the battle happens. So pretty much Maximus is dying, losing blood, but manages to beat Commodus, get his revenge, and finally have his peace. And the proceedings for a freer Rome are pretty much happens at the end of the movie. So all that stuff is great. Okay, so I covered acting, I covered the story. The production value of this movie, Ridley Scott is a beautiful visual artist. This goes back to his days with Alien, Prometheus, good looking movies, and this is no exception. This is a fantastic looking movie from the production design. Ridley Scott captured ancient Rome to a T with the production design and the costumes and wardrobe. It all looks authentic and period, and I love every single minute of it. This movie is rich with production design. This is a beautiful looking movie, and like I said, Ridley Scott is a true visual artist behind the camera, and this movie shows that in spades. I cannot praise Ridley Scott anymore as a visual artist. He's fantastic. He's great. Oof. Well, anyway, those are just my overall thoughts on Gladiator. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. This is a great movie. I like it a lot. I can't say I like it more than Troy. I think I like Troy better than Gladiator, but Gladiator is a damn good movie all unto itself. 8 out of 10. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.